said he tried to bet some dew on it. Well, Skip smartly did not take the bait.
Somebody had inside information I did not have.
Yeah, and you tried to act like you didn't, Shannon.
Yeah.
Despite winning his 6th Super Bowl last season, Brady was voted the 6th best player in the league behind Todd Gurley, Pat Mahomes, Khalil Mack, Drew Brees, and Aaron Donald, who took home the top spot. So, Shannon, do you agree that Donald should be ranked ahead of Brady?
Yes. He had a dominant year. 20 and a half sacks for a defensive tackle is phenomenal. The 25 tackle for losses is unbelievable, and he's doing this with constant double teams. When you start mentioning, when you're in your 3rd year, 4th year, and you start throwing the names around like Joe Green and Warren Sapp and Johnny Randall, and those guys are Hall of Famers and dominant defensive tackles, the best defensive tackles that's ever put on a uniform. And that's the kind of class that Aaron Donald's in. Yes, Skip, if you listen to the guys that talked about Tom Brady last night, because it was the first time on the ranking since they've had the ranking, and I think the ranking came out in 2011, that Tom Brady's been outside the top 5. They said he had a down year. His stats were not like what they used to, and that's not saying that Tom Brady is terrible. Tom Brady is still a great player. Okay, you want to make the case that he's the GOAT? Fine, go ahead. But this is not a Lifetime Achievement Award. This was based on 2018. In 2018, Aaron Donald had a better year than Tom Brady. And Aaron Donald is the most dominant player at his position. And so this is not about, okay, he plays the most valuable position. He plays the most important position, or he's the most important player to his franchise. Who was the best player in 2018? The players had spoken. Now, we're not talking about, well, he doesn't touch the ball every time. I get all of that. But it's hard for me after watching the game, having studied the game like I studied the game, it's hard for someone to convince me that there was a better player in 2018 than Aaron Donald. I believe the players got it right. And Skip, for me, I wish they could have had this in the 70s or the 80s or 90s, because it would have been hard-pressed for me to believe, Skip, that Lawrence Taylor wouldn't have been on top of that list a couple of times in the 80s and the 90s. Maybe even Reggie White, Jerry Rice. So it's hard for me to believe this notion that a quarterback must be at the top of the totem pole every time we have a list. That's not true. And I believe Aaron Donald is more than worthy, and he should have been voted the #1 player, because last year he was the best player in the NFL.
You know, Jenny, the other day I kept thinking, boy, Shannon keeps telling me he sees something I don't see. So I went on Wednesday and got my eyes checked. For the first time in a long time, actually. I actually got my eyes checked. Dr. K, thank you very much. And you know what? I got a completely clean bill of health. He said, you got perfect eyes. Now, I did get LASIK surgery, but it was way back in 1999. But I am perfect. I don't need reading glasses. I can read. Yeah. I can see far away, like 2015.
Settled, Shannon.
Hey, Skip, my eyes were good, too, till I start getting on this old clear stuff. Yeah, and then they get real blurry.
They get cross-eyed.
What is going on over there?
Yeah. So I watched the playoffs last year. I don't know, because it's my job. And plus, I just watch them anyway, because I'm just addicted to the National Football League. So I watched 3 games that Aaron Donald played. I don't remember him in any of the 3. I honestly do not remember him playing against my Cowboys, at Saints, Super Bowl versus Patriots. I just don't remember a play that he made. Von Miller, you better believe it, back in that 2015 run to the Super Bowl. Lawrence Taylor, I attended so many of his games. He leaped off the page for me and off my TV screen. Every time I turned on an LT game, whew, he just took the game over. They couldn't block him. They couldn't stop him. He played with a rage. He was an unholy terror on the football field. Now, Aaron Donald mostly plays inside, though they do move him around. He'll come off the edge occasionally, but here are the numbers. Dallas, playoff game, here at the Coliseum, 2 solo tackles, no assists and no sacks. Saints, 2 solos, no assists, 0 sacks. Super Bowl, 1 solo. He did have 4 assists in that game, no sacks. So Aaron Donald had 0 sacks in 3 playoff games, and you're trying to tell me he's the best player in the game? You're trying to tell me he's better than a quarterback who just won his 6th Super Bowl, who just shredded the Chargers you loved in a game, albeit at Foxborough, but the first playoff game that he played last year, shredded them, went 33 of 44. It was, what, 31-0,
Skip,
like that?
Skip, the votes had already been tallied.
Wow.
They voted on
That's what they said. But then
see,
and I saw another story that said that the ballots went all the way up to April. I don't know, but whatever. I'm not seeing it. My eyes don't tell me Aaron Donald is the best player. I respect him. I think he's a force. I think he's an anchor. He does often draw double teams, not always, but often. But still,
Let me ask you a
can he
question.
destroy a double team the way LT could? No. The way Von Miller could? No.
Can I ask you a question, Skip? What did Tom Brady do this year that had never been done before?
3 straight 3rd and 10s in an overtime of an AFC championship game? Is that what you're talking about?
And we've never seen a defensive tackle get 20 plus
sacks. Oh, you're talking about Brady. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what Aaron Donald does.
What Aaron Donald
Aaron
did,
Donald
yeah. Okay.
Yes. Skip, he's the most dominant player. Skip, and look, and like I said, this is not a Lifetime Achievement Award. We're not talking about is he the GOAT over Tom Brady. We can debate that another day. We can debate Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Lawrence Taylor, Jim Brown. If we want to have a discussion about who's the GOAT player, we can do that at another date and time. But in 2018, it's hard for you to say that Tom Brady had a better year than Aaron Donald. Tom Brady didn't have a better year than Patrick Mahomes. That's why he was ranked behind him.
Help me out. I think I watched Tom Brady beat Mahomes twice, beat Aaron Rodgers, win at Chicago, win the division again, obviously, no big deal, but put this team in position to have home field throughout the playoffs with his best game at Miami, where he threw for 358 in his house of horrors, where they always stink it up. And what happened on the last play of the game? Belichick's defense gives up the Miami miracle, or they would have had home field throughout the playoffs again. I thought he was spectacular as always last year. I guess the numbers weren't quite what they were the previous couple of years, but still, when it came to the playoffs, the game he played against the Chargers was up there with any output game that he's ever, in production and performance. It was just top of the list. And the overtime at Kansas City, top of the list. And the
Ed Reed, that's no disrespect on any other player. But Ed Reed was the best safety that I've ever seen in my life. Now, when you look at Aaron Donald, and when guys look at Aaron Donald, and when they take these guys off on tape, you know what a guy, you're like, okay, that guy's special. I mean, when you played against Detroit, and you got an opportunity to see Barry Sanders, you're like, okay, that's special. Or you saw Jerry Rice, or you saw LT, or you saw Reggie White, you're like, that's special. When you watch Aaron Donald, if you take him off on tape, and I know the casual fan's not going to do that, but you just watch him, Skip, that is dominance personified.
It's not.
He's as good as he has an
It's
Skip,
really good, but it's not dominating. I'm sorry, it's not. No.
Skip, trust. Skip, I usually that. Look,
no.
I do a lot of, Skip,
Trust me.
I would lie for you. I would never lie to you. This guy's as good as we have in the NFL right now.
Maybe right now. Maybe. But he's not better than Brady.
Skip, he has a chance.
And by the way, Patrick Mahomes is just not better than Tom Brady right here, right now. We saw 1 year, one starting year in
Skip,
which the NFL did not have the offseason to try to figure out what are the kids' weaknesses, right?
Skip, that's what I'm saying. This is not a lifetime achievement. This doesn't go back 2017, 16, 2008. This was about 2018. If you were going to sit here and say that Tom Brady had a better year, now, I'm not saying that the end result, because obviously you want to win the Super Bowl, but there's no way, Skip, you can make an argument that Tom Brady had a better year than Patrick Mahomes. I disagree with Drew Brees being ranked ahead of Patrick Mahomes. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what this discussion is about. This year alone, in 2018.
Brady, Mahomes on the same field Sunday night, Foxborough, fourth quarter. This is where Tom Brady has made his money, although he takes a hometown discount. Tom Brady in the fourth quarter against Kansas City threw for 182 yards. That's beyond anything Mahomes did all year. I'm sorry, he's just better. He's smarter. He's more efficient.
No, he's not, Skip.
He's a better leader.
No, Skip.
And his team beat Mahomes' team. I'm sorry, beat him twice.
He did not. He did not have a better year.
Oh,
so what about them 21 extra? What about them 21 extra touchdowns?
Okay.
That Tom Brady left on the field.
Okay, just real quick. I know we're running short of time here, but I got to do this because there was one great quote in that Mike Sando, The Athletic article about Pat Mahomes, and it rings so true to me because it was from a former head coach, and he said, "You play for Andy Reid, and you're going to have numbers to the point where what's his name thinks he's Hall of Famer," and that's Donovan McNabb, my friend. I love Donovan, but that's the point. You're going to have numbers. What Mahomes did was still amazing. I just don't know if you continue to play the way he plays and not have big mistakes. He reminds me of Favre, and I think he's going to end up having Favre moments. He only started for 1 year, and you're proclaiming him better than the 6-time Super Bowl champion? That is laughably absurd.
And
Game
in
over.
2018, yes, Patrick Mahomes was better than Tom Brady in 2018. Absolutely.
Knee-jerk, prisoner of moment.
Can't wait to see what he does this
2018.
season. Can he top it? Everyone's going to be watching carefully, especially these guys around here. This next story has to do with Tom Brady, but for an interesting reason, because we're also talking about LeBron. Is he getting too much criticism for dunking at Bronny's game? We'll go there next.